What's up, Gorilla Nation? It is Relentless here, bringing you yet another Division 2 build video. If you happen to be new to the channel, or you're just enjoying the content, then please be sure to ground and pound that like and subscribe button. Also, reach up there, trigger the bell, and turn on post notifications, so that way you never miss a live stream or a video that is uploaded. Well, I've been having loads of fun with Title Update 6, and if you've been following me since Division 1, then you will know that I had the Bob Lee Swagger build, and I was two-tapping with that Deadeye all day, and anything in my path would just lay to waste. And I haven't really made or even really tried to make a marksman rifle build in this Division 2 up until this Title Update 6. And so weeks before Title Update 6, I started getting my pieces together and wanted to come up with something that, encompassed the new talents as well as some of the gear sets, and this is what I come up with, and it is loads of fun. And also stay tuned for actual gameplay at the end of this build guide. So starting out, let's start with the weapons first. The surplus SVD is not exactly the greatest, as I find better ones than, or even you may already have a better one than my current one, so your numbers will reflect even better than what mine is. But 84.4k, when it has Lucky Shot, because I have potato aim. And Lucky Shot is magazine capacity is increased by 20%. Missed shots from cover have a 100% chance to return to the magazine. And I mean, if you want to spec into nothing but headshot damage, then you can go for things like Rifleman or other talents. But for me, in my potato aim, I'm going with Lucky Shot. And of course, Allegro, Stop, Drop, and Roll. My attachments are as followed, and this is to my playstyle and to my liking. You can tweak it as you see fit and whatever you think is more efficient for you. But I have the CQ BSS scope, 30% headshot damage. In the magazine, I went with the stability. In the underbarrel, the 5% crit chance. And of course, the muzzle, the 5% damage to elites. And on to the Nemesis. If you don't know what the Nemesis are, we'll go over the talents in a moment, but the base damage is 545k. One of the talents is Counter Strike. Shots fired deals 0 to 100% weapon damage based on how long the trigger is held before releasing. The time to reach max weapon damage is reduced whenever a shot does not kill an enemy it hits. And of course, the Nemesis talent. Aiming at an enemy marks them as your Nemesis for 15 seconds, letting you see them through walls. Your shots gain plus 5% damage to your Nemesis for each second they are marked to a max of 50%. And of course, preparation. While holstered, gaining plus 15% headshot damage when scoped with your current weapon. And then as far as my sidearm, I just threw this on because it had protected reload. So now let's hop into the gear. Now, I am utilizing 4-piece aces and 8s. And what aces and 8s do, you get, for 2 pieces, 10% marksman rifle damage. So that kind of substitute for the whole having to run 3 Araldi. And then we have, for 3 pieces, Dead Man's Hand. Flip a card by shooting an enemy with your marksman rifle. Headshots flip 2. Full House increases max size by 100% for 10 seconds. 4 of a Kind kill grants 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Aces and 8s grants to the next 5 bullets 100% bonus damage and requires the sharpshooter specialization. Then of course for the 4th piece, we have Sheriff's Favor. Effects of Dead Man's Hand are applied to all your party and raid members. Also requires the sharpshooter's specialization. Now if you wanted to use this in PvP, then you would want to only run 3 pieces of the aces and 8s, unless you are utilizing it to more or less also be a support role in your squad. But if you're like just going in there solo, just trying to two-tap some rogues or manhunts, then you do not need the 5th piece, the Sheriff's Favor. All you need is the 3 pieces. So you can substitute any of these pieces that I have here, or basically however you want it set up. So that way you only have to worry about 3 pieces, and that way you can even increase your armor to be a little more tankier, or you can increase your damage as you see fit. But since I was here at the mask, let's start with the mask. This mask that I acquired had 7% crit chance, and I put 50% damage to elites on it, so that way I can use it for all PvE activities and helping my group, and also two-tap people in the DZ, but yet still support my squad. Because sitting way far back in cover and utilizing this build I mean, it basically can drop anything with one shot. The SVD can basically 2 to 3 tap anybody, and it is loads of fun. And then in the mod slot, we have 3% marksman rifle damage and then 2% weapon damage. Now on to the backpack. This particular backpack has 7% crit hit damage, 6.5% crit hit chance, and then this is my best armor value that I had percentage wise or number wise. Since I do not have hardly any armor on whatsoever, this percentage value is not getting me the most bang for my buck. I could easily get more just by farming some Alp Summits and actually get a high armor value roll that I will plan on changing this out once I actually get one of those to drop. So that's the only thing that would change thus far. And then of course it has 2 offensive mod slots. In both of them I had 4% marksman rifle damage and 1% weapon damage, and 4% marksman rifle damage and 1.5% weapon damage on the second one. Now on to the gloves. The gloves, I have 12% marksman rifle damage and 8% rifle damage. And then of course we have another offensive mod slot. And this is probably the weakest mod that I have, because I have, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 offensive mod slots, so I was running thin on having enough marksman rifle offensive mods to actually put into gear. But this one gives me 3.5% for a total of 15.5% marksman rifle damage for my gloves. Now on to the holster. This holster has 8.5% crit damage, and then I rolled 14% crit hit chance on it. I had a 16% I could have put on there, but it was already used in another build that I'm working on, so the next best thing, I put 14%. I believe I'm at 55.5% crit chance with the Nemesis. I'm already at cap with the SVD. Then I have 2 offensive mod slots in the holster, 4% marksman rifle damage, 1% weapon damage, and in the second slot, I have 3% marksman rifle damage and 1.5% all weapon damage. Now on to these 2 pieces. And you do not have to have the 2 Araldi here. The only reason why I went with the 2 Araldi is because the perfect Vigilance only drops on Araldi, and I wanted to utilize those new talents, so that is why I opted in and just went with a 2-piece Araldi. But if you want to go and have a little bit more armor, since I do have 18 offensive Legos and only 3 defensive, you can substitute this for basically any vest and brand set to your choosing. It's just whatever you personally prefer and your preference. I just wanted to put something together utilizing the new talent, so that is why I went with this particular brand set. And I do get 10% accuracy and 2% headshot damage, so it's not completely a waste. And if you want to, like I said, do a PvP build with this vid, then you can easily drop one of the aces and 8 pieces and add the third Araldi piece in here. That way it'll give you 10% more marksman rifle damage, and you'll be hitting even harder. The Nemesis will probably be hitting close to 600k by then. If that's something you want to do and you want to try it out with PvP, then by all means go for it. But this one has 17,625 armor and 21% crit hit chance. Perfect Vigilance is gain 30% weapon damage. Taking damage disables this buff for 4 seconds. And then it has a defensive and an offensive mod slot. In the offensive mod slot, we have 3% marksman rifle damage, 5% rifle damage, and then 1% all weapon damage. In the defensive mod slot, we have 5107 armor, 3% total armor, and then 1619 armor on kill. Now on to the Kneepads. Also another new talent from Title Update 6 that's dropped, and it is Composure. And since you're a marksman rifle and marksman sniper, and you will be shooting from cover, then why not synergize it with Composure? While in cover, grant plus 10% total weapon damage. Then of course in the attributes I have 7% crit hit chance, and then it has another offensive mod slot. And this one gives me 3% marksman rifle damage and then 0.5% all weapon damage. So all in all, if I can find some better mods, then I can at least up, just in mod wise, around another 10% value with the proper and better offensive mods than the current ones I have involving marksman rifle. But with this many offensive mod slots, say 3, 4, 5, with 8, I mean that's a whole lot of mods. And even if each one only had 2%, the bare minimum when it comes just to like the marksman rifle things, then that's 16% weapon damage just from that. But I mean, I do have several that have 4 and 5 on it, so I think altogether I'm getting close to, I think like 26% weapon damage just from offensive mods. Now let's go over the character sheet before I continue to ramble on and draw out this video, in which I do apologize. As you know, I have the 50% damage to elites on my mask. Well, I at least have that. If you want more damage to elites, then you can, opt in for the different attachments like on the SBD, and you can add 5 to 10% more damage to elites if you want to. It's all personal preference. I try to go with like the overall, to where if I wanted to go on the DZ with my group, help support them and 2-tap folks, then I could do that, and as well as I can run it on any PvE mission and do the same and that. So I wanted something that was versatile that I could do for both, and this is what I come up with. The SBD is at 60% crit hit chance cap, 40% crit damage, 203 headshot damage, and then the actual numbers: 10% all weapon damage, and then a total of 63% marksman rifle damage bonus. And then if you wanted to just do the 3-piece, you can gain 10% more weapon damage from that. I'm missing out on at least 15% on my chest, so that's 25, and then another at least 10 on my backpack, so I'm missing out on 35 weapon damage. But that's why I went ahead and opted in with the crit, since a lot of the pieces already had crit chance built in and some crit damage. That's why I went pretty much that route. But altogether on the SVD, I have 55% damage to elites. Also, if you like I said, if you want to go with just a 3-piece and you're not really wanting to do the support thing and just do the solo, you could go with the hard hitting on something to give you another 25% damage to elites, and that would bring you up to 80% damage to elites if that's something you want to do. You can forego the composure like I have on my Kneepads and go with something that may have 2 talents like a Fenrir's piece, and you can go with composure and hard hitting with something like that. You will get 10% assault rifle damage, which will be a waste, but yet you'll gain 25% damage to elites if that's something that you want to do. And the rest are as followed. Now let's go over to the Nemesis. Is at 545,000, 55.5% crit chance, 56% critical hit damage, 191 headshot damage, and then those are the rest of the numbers as followed. And the damage to elites on the Nemesis is 65%. But do try it out. It is loads of fun. And also, if you want to also try something out that's tons and tons of fun, go check out the Berserk demo build that I put up a few days ago. Tons of fun. An updated version will be coming for that shortly, probably in the next couple days, and it'll also have some perfect talents on it, and it is super potent. And on that one, I believe I have like 292 previously health on it, and now I'm well over 300k health. So yeah, it is perfected now, so stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for the love and support. We'll see you later.